Good morning. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite motivator. I am the diaspora matrix. My people, all in all, it was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you re-enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was another beautiful day for protest. There's nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have protested and when I have updated you as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, it is troubling the things that are happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what we are lacking are people who are intelligent enough and wise enough to put our leaders' utterance into perspective so that the people can understand what is really happening in our country. And this has been a deficiency in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for quite a long time. Those people who are put in place to hold those leaders accountable are unable to do the job that is required of them. So we have leaders that are making truthful statements, and those truthful statements will appear to be harmless to the average listener, but to a wise and intelligent ears, they are a travesty to the way government ought to run and the institutions of government. Listen to this clip.
Labour supporters are talking to you now. You have a little grievance. Your neighbour house get fixed before your own and your vex.
This clip.
Labour supporters are talking to you now. You have a little grievance. Your neighbour house get fixed before your own and your vex.
Here we have a video recording of the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in an election season, adjusting his supporters, the Labour supporters. And what he is implying here is that there is confusion among the Labour supporters because some of the Labour supporters who needed repairs to their homes got repair before others. And those who were repaired last were upset because one group of people got repairs to their house first. What Ralph Gonsalves is telling the world here is the social programs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Only beneficiary are the people who support on a regular basis and vote for the Labour Party in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is unfortunate. If Labour supporters are willing to cut each other's throats because one supporter was helped before another, what will happen if a non-Labour supporter receive help from the social programs that were put in place to help Vincentians? Remember, these social programs are not in place, were not put in place to help Labour Party supporters, but they are put in place for Vincentians, because each Vincentian must benefit from the tax dollar, from donor agencies' monies that comes into this country. And each Vincentian ought to benefit from the aid that is given to St. Vincent and the Grenadines from places like the United Nations and other organizations around the world. You see, these organizations did not give these monies and aids to Ralph Gonsalves to give to Labour supporters. These monies and aids were given to St. Vincent and the Grenadines through the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines that are responsible for managing these resources. And it was given for the benefit of Vincentians, regardless of your political association. That is why governments have institutions within the government system that are operated and managed by individuals so that they can determine the needs of the community based on the priority of those needs. And it is based on the priority of those needs that the help must be given, not based on who voted for who, or who is shouting whose name, or who is wearing red and who is wearing yellow and who is wearing green. So this statement by Ralph Gonsalves is saying clearly to all Vincentians that the social programs that are implemented by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are implemented only to benefit the people who support Ralph Gonsalves and his party, and this is wrong, and there's a name for it. It is called corruption. So when people at home and abroad associate Ralph Gonsalves and his government with being corrupt, he gets upset. But here we're seeing here, Ralph Gonsalves' own utterance is a declaration of mass corruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where even his party supporters thinks that there should be certain privilege based on your importance to the party. So, what is happening to the non-Labour supporters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? How are they making it? That is the question we must answer right here and then. And I want you to tell me how you all are making it by commenting on this video.
Carlos did tell her yes, she was going see if he could get you a walk by the hospital and it ain't quite work out in time yet. Carlos did tell her yes, she was going see if he could get you a walk by the hospital and it ain't quite work out in time yet.
Now listen to this. Ralph Gonsalves and the Unity Labour Party politicians are circumventing those procedures, policies and institutions that were put in place to ensure that only the best Vincentians are employed in the government service, to ensure that the GDP grows, that only the best minds in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are employed. That is why they are the Public Service Commission. That is why they are the Police Service Commission. That is why certain heads of department have the authority to employ people in the lower bracket in their ministries. These institutions, procedures and policies were put in place to ensure that only the right people fill the posts, not based on nepotism, not based on who you know, but those who are qualified, those who are willing to work, and those who show an interest in the job. And that is why the government service has a probation period where people are given probation to determine whether they are the right fit for the job or not. My people, isn't there any wonder that crime is rampant in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Because Ralph Gonsalves have been putting square pegs in wrong holes. And those square pegs are not able to satisfy the requirements of the job they are put to do. People are given the opportunity to work in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the government service, not because they are qualified for the job, not because they are competent or will be competent in the field they are chosen for, but because they voted for a party. Isn't there any reason that the economy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is not growing? Isn't there any reason that there's so much chaos in the health sector? Isn't there so much any reason that our industry, our export industry has collapsed? Is there any reason that the other industries are not functioning at its optimum? Is there any reason that Ralph Gonsalves is not given the best advice for the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Because he has filled the post that requires the best Vincentians to perform in a capacity where they are skilled at, where they are qualified at for the development of our country, is left on the streets to beg a bread, while the incompetent fools who voted for him because they don't know better are put in place and in positions where they are unable to function in the capacity. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora Mitchell. Remember to like this video, share this video, leave your comment on this video and let me know what are your thoughts about this video. And remember, there are many more videos like this right here. Go and peruse those videos and let me know what are your thoughts. I would like you to like or subscribe based on which social media platform you're viewing this video from. And I will talk to you on Wednesday. Out.